welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel. Here today, guys, of course, we have got plenty more discussion coming your way, because coming up today, we're going to be talking about the brand new Champions League season that is just on the horizon now for Barça. We're going to be going over some early team news speculation, because is Xavi about to rotate in our first game there against Viktoria Plzen? We're also going to be talking about the full Antoine Griezmann situation. We're going to be analysing all of what's happening right now, because things are escalating with Atletico Madrid, and this is something that we simply must discuss. It is all coming up for you today. Sit back and relax, and let's do this. Because indeed, guys, I hope you are all doing very well indeed right now, and I hope you're still enjoying and savouring that victory at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan last night. Fantastic game that it was from Barça. Brilliant attacking display. And I think it was really important there for our confidence, all of that momentum to continue now, pushing and building as a team. But I also just want to say here, heading into Sunday, it didn't just stop there for Barça. I want to talk here quickly about Abde, because he made his debut there for Osasuna, and what an assist. It was honestly a sensational assist there in the dying moments of the game. The pace that he showed, the close control and dribbling, absolutely electric, and putting it on a plate there for Osasuna to win the game in the final moments. A brilliant start there for Abde at Osasuna, and Nico Gonzalez too got his first start there at Valencia this Sunday. Gattuso there putting faith in him in that midfield for Valencia, and he played very, very well. Got himself as well on the score sheet, and very encouraging signs there early on for the youngsters, of course, that we've sent out on loan, but we have real ambitions for them. The club has long-term faith in both of those players, and hopefully they can keep it going there in La Liga over the coming season. But if we do indeed now turn that page and move on to the coming week, and we move on to the Champions League, because they were all really excited to get going again in this competition. And of course, the most important thing for Barca is that we start well. We know that in this group, we made the mistakes last season. You can't slip up. It's as simple as that. You've got to come into every single game knowing you've got to get the points you need. And that is why it was interesting for me this morning now, over the weekend in the Catalan media, plenty of speculation about Xavi's lineup. And there are plenty of reports right now that say Xavi may rotate in this opening group stage match against Viktoria Plzen. There are reports right now that say there are a number of players who will find themselves on the bench in midweek. One of those, reportedly, Eric Garcia. Now, that might have something to do there with a slight knock that he picked up at the weekend. He was taken off there as a precaution, so he may be out of the starting lineup. There's also talk as well, though, of Araujo. Now, he also took a number of quite heavy knocks against Sevilla, whether that would play any part in that at all, but he could also find himself on the bench apparently. Xavi in midfield played brilliantly against Sevilla, but he could be rotated against Plzen, and also Ousmane Dembele. Barca maybe wanting to be a little bit careful for him, not overworking him, of course, given his injury history, but that would mean Garcia, Araujo, Xavi, Dembele all rotated out. And I just wonder what your take is on that. Because obviously this season, guys, when we say, oh, Xavi's going to rotate, Xavi is going to really shuffle his pack, bring in some of the bench players, this season, it should feel different, and it should look different than in previous years, because we have added enormous quality to our team. We've got a lot of squad depth now, so when we do rotate, it shouldn't be such a big gulf there between the starting players and the bench players, but is this the time to do it? Now, already you could look at that lineup there, and you could actually say, well, if Araujo is out the team, if Eric Garcia is out, you've got Christensen who can come in. You've also got players there who can play now at right back. Koundé could come in field. You could have Bayer in. You could have Sergio Roberto. In midfield, if you take out Xavi, you've got Frenkie. You've got Kessié. Even Dembele there out of the lineup. Is it time for Ansu Fati to get a start? So there's plenty there of variations for Xavi. There's plenty of quality, I feel, that can still come into the team. But I just think whatever happens, whoever we put out there on Wednesday, get the job done. Because what we cannot afford to do here is sort of mess around with things a little bit too much and slip up. Because already then, you're having to play catch up. So whatever team is out there, whatever players, we put our faith in, it should be enough to beat Viktoria Plzen. Because that's what we have to do to start our Champions League. But I'm just very interested there to know, before we start, our real build-up for this game, what are your early thoughts on possible rotation in that opening group match. But indeed, guys, if we do move on now to technically another lone player who is spending some time away from the club, although we all kind of believed this would end up being permanent, but will it with Antoine Griezmann? Because I want to talk here about his situation right now at Atletico Madrid and where Barca stand right now on that potential buy option in this deal. Because back in the summer of 2021, Barca and Atletico Madrid reached an agreement, let's stress that now, that both parties agreed to the terms of this deal. Antoine Griezmann would go on a 2-year loan deal with Atletico, and if he played over 50% of the matches that he was available for, and in order for a match to count, he must play 45 minutes or more. If he does that, Atletico would be obligated to buy him at the end of that loan spell for 40 million euros. Now, last season, Diego Simeone there used Antoine Griezmann very frequently in his Atletico Madrid team. Griezmann appeared there in 30 out of the 37 games he was available for, which basically meant there that he was chosen to be in the team 81% of the time. And we only need 50% for Atletico to make this deal permanent. It looked almost certain that that would happen in 2023. Now, arriving into this season, because of that clause, it wasn't necessarily a set number of games that Griezmann has to play to make it all permanent. It's not like saying, okay, he needs to play 5 games, he needs to play 10 games, because it all depends on how many games he's available for this season. If he's available to play 50 games, then he would have needed to appear in 14 of those for 45 minutes or more to make it permanent. If he was available only for 40, then he would have only needed to be playing 9 games for over 45 minutes to make this deal permanent. However, in the summer transfer window, Atletico Madrid started to get there a bit frustrated because they wanted to bring players in, they wanted to sign players, they wanted to add to their squad, but as we found out in La Liga, it's very difficult. There's lots of restrictions, and they realised that Griezmann was taking up a big amount there of their salary margin. Now, they looked throughout the summer to see if there was options there to offload Griezmann, to end the loan, all these different things, but in the end, nothing happened. They kept Griezmann, and they had to do that because of the terms of the deal. Now, towards the end of the transfer window, Atletico Madrid there came to Barca and said, okay, we've kept hold of Griezmann, we know we've got this agreement, we know there's a 40 million option to buy that may become an obligation, but would you be interested in accepting less than 40 million? Would you be interested there in actually altering the deal because we asked you to? And obviously, Barca said no, because why should we? We both made an agreement, you took on Griezmann, you decided to do that deal for 40 million, and now you want us to accept less. That is simply not how it works. But because of Barca's refusal, and because of Atletico Madrid here becoming frustrated about this situation, now they've taken it upon themselves to basically get out of paying this obligation by any means necessary. Because in the opening game of the season against Getafe, Griezmann found himself on the bench in that game. He came on though for the last 30 minutes of it, and he scored a goal there for Atletico Madrid in a 3-0 victory. In the next game, it was exactly the same. He came on, same minute, same situation for the final half an hour. Atletico Madrid lost that game. Then again against Valencia, he came on in the same period, this time scoring the winning goal, helping Atletico to get 3 points in that game, and he was rewarded the next time with the same situation, on the bench again, and only coming on for the final minutes of the game. And this is Griezmann's situation right now, and this is indeed Barca's situation, because even though there, Griezmann has got 2 goals in 4 games, he's actually there really helping Atletico. When he's on the field, he's doing good things. Only Morata has scored more goals than Griezmann, but they are refusing to play him there for any more minutes because they know that will contribute there to the obligation of making this deal permanent. Now, Simeone basically did admit to what was going on. He basically admitted in a press conference there that he may have been receiving orders from higher above inside of the club. He said, "You've known me for 10 years as a coach. I'm a club man, and I always will be." And he implied there that basically this is what he has to do for the good of the club. And I think the question that all of us Barcelona fans right now are asking is, are Atletico Madrid going to continue this? Are they actually going to be able to do this for the entire season to get out of this deal? Well, here, in my opinion, are 3 reasons why I don't think so. Number one, I think this is all being used right now as a threat to Barca. I think Atletico Madrid are trying to scare Barca into thinking, okay, they might do this for the whole season, and because of that, maybe we should lower our valuation. Maybe we should change the terms of the deal and accept less than 40 million. But I don't think they'll do that, because Barca also know that just because they're trying to get out here of buying Griezmann permanently, that doesn't get Atletico Madrid away from the fact that Griezmann remains one of, if not the, highest earning player at their club. And do you really want to pay all of that money out every single week this season for 30 minutes a game? Is that really Atletico Madrid getting value for money? Is that really Atletico Madrid showing Barca? Or is that actually you hurting yourself? Because you look at Atletico right now and the start they've made to the season, they're in 7th place after 4 games. They've looked shaky. They've looked light up front at times. They need more firepower. They need more goals in their team. And are you really telling me that as the season goes on, if they continue to struggle, if they continue to drop points, are they going to risk dropping out of the Champions League? Because that would cost them even more money than 40 million euros. I just don't see it happening. And you think of the fixture list coming up because of the World Cup. Atletico Madrid in October, they've got 9 games in a month. Atletico Madrid are going to have injuries. They're going to have suspensions. They're going to need to rely on every single member of their squad. Are they really going to keep this up? And above all else, what about Griezmann himself? Because I would imagine that behind the scenes there, he gets on very well with Simeone. He's somebody they're very close to the coach. He's not going to be happy, especially here in a World Cup year. He will want to be getting regular minutes, more game time that he's getting, and no player's going to be happy with that. Constantly being forced to come on in the latter stages of a game and knowing that no matter what you do, you're not going to start again. Griezmann can come on, we've seen it already, and score a winner, and the next game, straight back on the bench. That is demotivating. That's going to affect his morale, and he's a big figure in the Atletico dressing room. Is that the kind of feeling? Is that the kind of situation that you want breeding here at the start of a new season? And I just don't see them being able to continue this treatment for an entire year. I don't see it, guys. They are going to have to change. They are going to have to find some sort of solution. And we're not going to help them. Because at the end of the day, guys, if this was any other club who this was happening to, it would be a scandal. This is not the way that you behave. And people will say, haha, very funny, because it's happening to Barca. But for any other club, like I say, this would be treated as a scandal, the way this is being played out here. And the way that Atletico here are playing. They're playing with Griezmann's career. And just remember, they accepted this agreement. They accepted these terms. They were more than happy to play Griezmann game in, game out last season. And now, to just cut him adrift from the squad, even when he's scoring, delivering more probably than he did last season, it's not right. And I just cannot see this continuing for the whole season. But I'm interested to know your thoughts right now. Looking at what's happening, looking at what's been going on, do you see Atletico Madrid changing their stance? Do you see them being forced to do that as the season goes on? Please do let me know, guys. A very unique case here. Football right now, modern football, is throwing up some really strange equations. But do let me know your thoughts on Griezmann and indeed the possible rotation that we might see against Viktoria Plzen. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, guys. A bit of a discussion and a catch up here on Sunday. I will see you soon, where there will be more videos to come. But thank you indeed for watching and for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.